In my ever-continuing effort to bring you guys the most value possible, I thought it'd be cool if I went through some of the testing that we've actually done with our WeArePR account for branding. So this is going to be more of like an informative, here's what's going on test kind of thing. But I thought, hey, if you guys can pull something out of this, then awesome. So let's get right into it. So basically what I tested during this period was the posting frequency on Instagram. And I really wanted to see if posting more or less is what would drive up engagement the most on Instagram. So let's start off with the baseline. So our standard, what we typically do on our Instagram is we post 21 times a week, roughly, okay? Now it's not guaranteed, but our average, over a 4-week period, our average posting was 21 times a week, which is just about 3 posts a day, and our posts came in after 4 p.m. So we really targeted that kind of getting off of work into the night kind of demographic. We didn't post any during the days, and instead of doing a very strong call to action on every picture, we only did a very strong right hook call to action 2 to 3 times a week. And that would be something like, here's a shirt, go check the link in our bio. It would be directly asking you to do something. And just at the bottom are a few examples of what we were posting. We were posting a lot of pictures of other people wearing our product. We were posting a lot of quotes that doubled as backgrounds. If you went to our store, you could get the full background. And then we did a lot of behind the scenes because we were working on designs. And I took 1 week to look at what our averages were, just to get some rough data down, just so we had a baseline amount of data. And for those 21 posts, we had our impressions for this week were just over 9,000. We had a reach. So before I dive into the numbers, let's go over what each one is. Impressions. So an impression on Instagram is the number of people who see it. So that doesn't necessarily mean they consumed it, but that means that it showed up on their feed. So they could be scrolling, and that if they scrolled right past your picture, but it still showed up on their screen, then that's considered it. You get a +1 for your impression. The next statistic is the reach. Now, the reach, impressions and reach are a little hard to get your head around in the beginning, but the easiest way that I've thought about it is reach is like the unique amount of people who have seen it. So if my picture, if one of our quotes showed up on your time, if it showed up on Instagram for you, and you saw it, and you logged on an hour later, then you saw it again, that would count as an impression, but the reach would only get a 1. So the easiest way to think about it is reach is the unique number of people who have seen it, and your impression is how many times people have seen it. So the same person may have seen it multiple times, which is typically why your impressions is larger than your reach number. I hope that makes sense. If that didn't make sense, let me know, and I'll figure out another way to explain it. Profile views is pretty clear. It's whenever someone went to one of your pictures and clicked on your name and went to your profile. A piece of content that led to them digging deeper into your profile. And website clicks is pretty self-explanatory again. So once they drove down from a picture into your profile, they clicked on the clickable link in your description. Now you were allowed 1 clickable link, and what I did not track was I didn't use like a bit, so I could directly track what link got the most hits, because during this time I had a few different links. I believe I had a link for a YouTube video, and I believe I had 2 links for different shirts. So each one of those, I don't have a breakdown of which one got the 4 clicks or how that breakdown was, but all in all, we had 4 clicks on our clickable link in our bio. So that was our baseline. So then if we go into our test week, we only posted 3 times for the entire week. And the way that we devised what times we were going to prioritize, we basically used the Instagram analytics, which I think is one of the most powerful things, in conjunction with Union Metrics, which is another kind of website tracker that allows you to dive a little bit deeper into your kind of hashtags and follower activity. in conjunction with those two things, we found the top 3 active times over the week. And in those 3 times, we had a very strong call to action. So at the bottom here, these are actually the 3 pictures that we posted. So we posted we posted behind the scenes of us handwriting a note to one of our customers. We posted a quote, which was the strong call to action for that was to go to the story and screenshot that. And then the very last picture was us screen printing, which again, we could use a strong call to action to driving traffic to the website. So there was a massive difference between these two. We went from posting 21 times to 3 times for an entire week. And as you see, for this week, there is a tremendous, and I mean tremendous difference. Our impressions were down, our reach was down, our profile views were down. The only thing that wasn't down, interestingly, was website clicks, which I found very interesting because we had 3, on all these pictures that we posted during this week, we had a very strong call to action. Now, it wasn't any different than the previous week's kind of call to actions, but it seemed to drive more website clicks, which was very interesting, which was the only thing out of our 4 metrics that we really used to test this to see what was happening. Now, if we look at this in a graph, we can see this is just plummet central. We went from over 9,000 impressions down to just over 1,000. I mean, we went from over 6,000 individuals reached down to below 1,000. Profile views were down, and you won't even be able to see website. I have the line for website clicks up, but you won't even be able to see it since it's such a small integer compared to what else is up there. So as you can see, there was a significant difference for us posting 21 times a week versus posting 3 times a week with that strong call to action. So to wrap everything up, for us, our biggest thing that we are working on right now is brand exposure. That's what's holding us back the absolute most. And we need to get eyes on our content, which is initially why we started going down the higher frequency posting. And clearly we can see that this led to much more visibility. More people saw our content, more people came to the profile because of our content. And overall, posting more really led us to more of what we were going for. One thing that could have been a variable was the direct messaging. Now, I tried to keep this as constant as I could between the 2 weeks, but direct messaging is a pretty high thing that we do. We send direct messages and pretty much provide value. And I just made a video on this, so if you want to get more into that, we can go check that video out. But this, I tried to keep that as neutral across the 2 weeks as possible for this test. The one positive thing was that when we only posted 3 times a week, we really focused on hitting that hard call to action when all of our when the highest engagement periods were during the day or during that week. So that actually led to more website clicks. So we've actually started to integrate that a little bit more, is really throwing those. We still keep the very strong call to actions, the very strong right hooks, down to a minimum about 2 to 3 times a week, but we're posting them at a much more precise time instead of kind of just willy-nilly kind of throwing them up wherever. So yeah, all in all, yes, posting more gets your reach out much more than posting less. Is it self-explanatory? Kind of, but you don't know unless you actually have the data to back it up. So that's really what I wanted to prove here. If you've got any questions about this test, anything that didn't make sense, please let me know. And I don't know if I'm going to make this into a serious kind of thing yet. I know that, I'm still testing stuff right now, but I like to really get the test completed before I start to make a video and talk about it, so that way I'm actually educated on what I'm talking about. So if there's anything that you would like to see or any questions you have around social media marketing or something you would like us to test, please let me know. But that's all we got, really. So, yeah. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see.